Hi everybody, Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. Before I get into today's topic, there's a couple of people out there I want to give a quick shout out to because they, not on purpose, but I haven't shouted them out before yet on camera, so I wanted to make sure I did that. One is Christina Payne. Christina does a hell of a job going around and making everybody, helping out on all the live streams by dropping links and putting the chats up, telling people to like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. Christina is a very, very valuable member of our community, and I wanted to say, hey, thanks a lot. We all appreciate you. And the other one I wanted to shout out was Cliff. Cliff on comics is probably the hardest working man on comic book YouTube. I see him everywhere, and I like it. I mean, I like his dedication. I like his knowledge. I just like the fact that he is right into. He's very supportive of people. I was on Cliff's one of Cliff's shows back in September, and he was very welcoming and very helpful. And I just want to say thanks, Cliff. You are Cliff on Comics. If you're not subscribed to him, you really should be, because this guy knows his stuff, and everybody should check him out. Now, the topic of today's video was suggested to me by one of the members of Comics Nation, and that was a video on Vandal Savage. Vandal Savage is a great, interesting character. He's evil. I mean, he's a bad guy. He always has been a bad guy. Never been a guy who flirts with being good like some of these things. He's always a narcissistic, power hungry, self person. Vandal Savage's first appearance was in the Golden Age, in the Golden Age Green Lantern, the series Green Lantern 10. And he was created by the team of Alfred Bester and Martin Nodell, who were the creative team on Green Lantern at the time. Basically, he is a supervillain who had gained immortality and fast healing. He is originally a Cro-Magnon man who was a warrior who gained his powers after encountering a strange meteorite during prehistoric times. He is over 50,000 years old. That is the current version of it. One version had him as over 1,000,000 years old. Another version had him at 10,000 years old. But the current continuity is 50,000 years old. He is absolutely brilliant and is a superb tactician and plagues the earth constantly by either being a conqueror. For example, it is said that he was Attila, the Hun, or the man behind the throne, where it is said he was a general advising Napoleon and Hitler, using various aliases over the years. His original biggest enemies were Hawkman and Hawkwoman, although he fought against Green Lantern first. Hawkman, Hawkwoman, the Immortal Man, and the Resurrection Man, and the Justice Society of America as a team. Originally, Vandal Savage was an Earth 2 villain. You only saw him in the Golden Age, and when he was reintroduced in the Silver Age, he was on Earth 2 fighting against for the Justice Society of America and the two Flashes. He appeared in one of the first Flash 137 was his first Silver Age appearance, and but he eventually moved to Earth 1 for a while, and it was discovered that he knew how to go between the two dimensions by will, almost, Like he had a method of going from 2 to 1 and vice versa. So pre-Crisis, there was only ever one Vandal Savage. He was not a character that had a duplicate on both Earths, like a Green Lantern did, or a Superman, for example. At the time, it is then revealed that on Earth 2, the Resurrection Man, although he's not called that, by the way, he's not called that. The actual Resurrection Man's first appearance is a lot later. But on Earth 1, the Immortal Man was his worst enemy. And actually, Immortal Man got his powers from the exact same meteorite that Vandal Savage did. After Crisis happened, when the worlds were combined, things changed for the story changed a little bit. It is revealed that Vandal's original name was Vandar Adag, ADG. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. So Vandar Adg of the Blood Tribe, in the Cro-Magnon type thing, or the Neanderthal. Like, I would say that he was probably prototype early human because, like early sapiens, but they don't really say that. It was revealed that it is a substance, okay, of subatomic robots called tektites that gave Vandal his powers. His blood absorbed them from the meteor that he was exposed to. Vandal Savage in the After Crisis also kept track of all of his descendants because his power had to be enhanced over time. And there were times he needed replacement parts. It's very grim. Savage is also known to have fought the reincarnated Hawkman and Hawkwoman many, many times. It is also revealed during the period of Crisis that one of his earliest known recordings was he was the inspiration for Cain of the Bible. The New 52 showed Savage as draining Superman's power after inhibiting his Superman from absorbing yellow solar radiation. The comet that created the meteor that gave him his power is coming near and has made his descendants more powerful too, but Savage has the power to pull the power away. This was basically the only major, there were only two real New 52 storylines used for Savage, and this was one of them. This was in Action Comics. I should have been more clear on that. This was a storyline. Then we move to Rebirth, where it shows Savage is one of five immortals. Sorry, I can't read my writing sometimes. As one of five immortals from the original meter. And basically, they all got powers. After attempting to create a new Injustice gang, he is threatened early with death by Luthor, who actually had a method of killing him. But Luthor, like all the other villains, walked away thinking he had completely done the job, and he hadn't. And apparently, Vandal Savage can come back from something as little as a thumbnail. You literally have to destroy every atom of his being in order to kill him, which he failed to do. He is completely restored to his full powers and full immortal self by the events of Dark Knight Death Metal, and currently in current storylines, he has taken Wayne Manor away from Batman, and he is the current police commissioner of Gotham. So he's had some weird things over the years, different storylines and different thoughts. He's always been a member of the Injustice Society, all the way back in the Golden Age. Um, he was always unlike other villains. He knew the value of knowing. Now, this are all the books that I found that have Vandal Savage storylines in them. I'm not going to get into details, but I am going to show the covers. This here was the first New 52 story that I was talking about. This is the Vandal Savage from DC Universe Presents. Um, Issues 9 to 11 had a Vandal Savage storyline that involved his descendant. I think she's actually his daughter at this time. Like he's had her recently. Um, Scandal Savage, and who's starting to become a character in her own right in current stories. Um, we had, oh, my apologies. It looks like we had a third. Oh no, this is part of the other one. My mistake. This is also part of the Action Comics one I was talking about. Superman, Wonder Woman 23 through 27 had part of that storyline. 24. The sad part is that Vandal himself is only briefly seen on one of the covers, and of course that is the book that I have the alternate cover for. This is 27 here, the last one was 26, etc. Post-crisis, as well as Hawkman, he was a big, big, big villain fighting against Wally West. This is Flash 2. Flash 13. Now there's a storyline that goes through Flash 12 through 16. Unfortunately, I only own 2 of these books at the moment. And here's 16. 16 actually shows Savage getting beaten up. This here is a one-shot where they talk about a story about when Bruce and Clark got together to fight Savage before they were Superman and Batman. This is post-crisis, literally 3 or 4 months before the New 52. And here are the action books that I was referring to. We have Action 47. The Wrath was Scandal Savage. And at the end of the book, you see Vandal. Here is 48. 49. This is another storyline where there's no note the homage to Crisis 7. Savage did a hell of a deal on Supergirl in this book. And number 50. This is where he manages to defeat Savage by knocking the comet out of like further away from the Earth, thus ensuring that the comet would never come near again, which was the last thing that Superman was able to do before he passed on. I have pulled out the original first Justice Society book was a 8-part miniseries. I only have half the series, but Vandal Savage was the villain of the piece. This is Justice Society of America Volume 1-3. Four. 7. And 8. This is the book that reveals that Vandal Savage has known Hawkman and Hawkwoman throughout history, and he's always been their worst enemy. The next few books I'm going to show are from the current run of Batman. And basically, these are the ones where Vandal Savage, Batman 137, through, as I said, has taken over Wayne Manor, most of Bruce's fortune, and has somehow been named commissioner of the police for Gotham City. This is Batman 139. $140. Now, Savage isn't on most of these covers, and in some of these books, he plays a very minor role. This is $145. $146. In this one, Savage actually manages to send the Joker, get the Joker involved. $147. We find that Vandal Savage is part of the Amanda Waller conspiracy, but we don't know how much. Read the books. $148. And $149. The reason I stop here is because it's continued, but these are literally the last few months of Batman books. So, like, 150 will be the next one that comes out. The last bunch of books I'm going to show have to do with Vandal Savage pre-Crisis. This one is the only appearance he makes in All-Star Squadron. This is issue 29, and he goes up against the Seven Soldiers of Victory. The rest of them are all pre-Crisis, and they're all action comics that have come from a storyline where Vandal Savage has taken over a company called Abraxas and is trying to take over the world through this company, and Superman realizes that Vandal has moved from Earth 2 to Earth 1. The first part was 515 and 516. This is the first time he was on Earth 1. He hadn't quite taken over the company yet, but he was working on it. And Vandal Savage is on the cover of both issues. This is 516. $552 and $553. These are the final parts of the battle. I just realized I showed them to you slightly out of order. I did a video on that included those two books. So if you want to go back and see the video from that, I'm going to put the link in the thing. You'll get more details about the story, and you'll see that Vandal Savage finally gets defeated in the end. And this whole thing is over. But this is when the company had started. This is Action Comics 542 and Action Comics 543, where 542, we find out that Vandal Savage is behind it all, but in 543, this is when Superman really finds out about all that stuff. So those are all the books that I own that Vandal Savage has been in. He's one of the most prolific characters in the Golden Age in terms of villains, because he fought Hawkman, he fought Green Lantern, he fought the Justice Society, but he was pretty much, once the Justice Society was done in 51, he wasn't used again until the 60s when they started doing the, or late 50s, sorry, when they started doing the Earth 2 crossovers. And then again, was not used that often until the Bronze Age and in that Superman one. So I don't have a lot, I don't have a lot of Golden Age books, certainly not of the superhero variety, so I don't have any written in the Golden Age books to show. But I did show the ones that take place in that age that were written later, like the Justice Society and stuff. But the real If you ever want to really understand what they can do with this character, these 3 books, which is here in one collection, DC Universe Presents 9 to 11, or 9 to 12, sorry. They really explain Vandal Savage, his motivations, who he is, and all that stuff. And this is probably my favorite Savage book. Savage is also the secondary evil guy after Darkseid in Final Crisis. But I don't have any of those books. I do have the trade, but I'm not gonna. I wasn't gonna pull it out because to get to it, it's very difficult. But I hope you enjoyed this little look at Vandal Savage. I did want to explain who he was and what his significance to the DC Universe is. So if you like what I've done here, please like, subscribe, and comment below. If you don't like what I did, please like, comment, and please unlike, dislike, comment, and subscribe below. I want to know if you've read many Vandal Savage stories, and if so, what was your favorites? If you think that he's like, if you think that he's cool. Because Vandal Savage, I probably got maybe 1/5 of his overall appearances. He has been in a lot of stuff. And when he's there, it is very, very interesting. It's not a, oh, I'm going to solve this instantly, for the most part. They did that in the Silver Age a little bit. They made him out to be a little, I don't think they understood the power behind the character, but trust me when I say this is one of the best villains that DC's ever come up with. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have yourself a wonderful day, because my name is Matt, and I like comics, and I hope you do too. Bye for now.